There's a part of me that wants to play still DREs. Guess who's back? And I wonder who had the best comeback one. Rakim had one when he came out with his first solo. Is
Guess
it
Who's Back?
Guess Who's Back? And then still DRE. I mean, who would you rate as like had that big comeback single? That Guess Who's Back one.
Out of those,
Out of those two, Steve DRE, like when Snoop says "Guess Who's Back," and when Rakim had "Guess Who's Back," which one?
My opinion,
Yeah,
I have to give it to Dre. However, you could make an argument for it balancing out because still Dre was written by Jay-Z, if I'm not mistaken. So like whereas Rakim wrote his own lyrics. So to me, it's like you can kind of take away. But as far as impact, like cultural impact, in my opinion, I think DRE takes it. In my opinion.
Okay. But that Rakim "Guess Who's Back," dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun, dun, and then it's the return of the it was like wow.
The R.
I think my biggest thing about that Rakim album was that it was on Universal. It should have been on a Def Jam or something like that because they would have. He went to the biggest label, but they just didn't know how to market that album and release it and stuff. So he needed to be at a smaller indie label like Def Jam. He would have done much better. Anyway, I was saying that to welcome back Andrew Knight because we haven't seen him in a minute, and so that's why I was guess who's back. That's how it all came about. DJ All Day, welcome. Let's get naked. VJ and Stevie, and this is an album that the three of you guys have spoken highly of for a long time. I'd never heard the album. I've heard the name of the group faintly, and so it was interesting for me to get into this, into the Highland Place Mobsters, and yes, and then be able to listen to their album and rate it. So it'll be interesting just talking it through, get your experiences about the album stuff. But before we get into it, it's always good to get a sense of music news or anything that wants to be either one of you want to drop. I'll start with you, VJ. How are you doing? And anything musically you want to drop to the fan, to the team, the community?
music wise, I mean, I'm okay. Been good. We did the podcast last week, which was a catch up about the concert, which was great to talk about that after the fact. So we physically getting together with two of you guys was amazing. Then being able to talk about it 2 days later was magic. But music wise, I went to Music and Video Exchange in Notting Hill yesterday, and I got some random bits. Nothing that anybody here would be particularly excited about, I don't think, but cool little bits that I wanted to get that I hadn't got. I got a 7-inch of Misha Paris's Contribution, which I think is an incredible song featuring Rakim, who you mentioned.
Wicked.
2 minutes ago, which I thought was pretty good. Yeah, I think I got 16 7-inches for 50p each, so £8. I spent $10 on 16 singles. So some nice pieces. I thought that was nice. Karen Wheeler, UK Black and Living in the Light, 7-inch. Never had those.
Wow.
Very nice. And no other music news to discuss from my end, other than you guys mentioning that Babyface is performing on the Friday when we are in Vegas.
Yes.
Friday and Saturday.
And Usher, don't forget. Usher and Chris Brown, Babyface. We're sport for choice, but fortunately or unfortunately, we've got a wedding to attend. So it's how you look at this.
Indeed.
Priorities.
Yes, that's our priority.
Colin, welcome. Michael is the biggest biopic ever. It just passed 980, so it passed Oppenheimer. I mean, for a movie that was panned by the critics and was not expected to do that well, it has surely done exceedingly. Stevie, what about you? Any music news and anything?
I was overwhelmed on Friday. I left work pretty early, I got away just after lunch, went in HMV, and I'm stood there with Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac reissue LP. There was Scarface, The Diary, double vinyl reissue LP from 1994 on Rap-A-Lot. There was Alicia Keys had come out, her first album, double vinyl reissue. There was Mobb Deep's. And I've got all these in hand and I'm running all this total up thinking, yes, let's buy all these now. And then I had VJ in my ear going, have you booked that flight yet to Las Vegas, Steve? Have you booked this? Are you coming to this Las Vegas? Yeah, and I'm thinking, records or trip. It's one or the other. I'm going to have to go a whole month eating rice and beans, or I could just buy these records and pretend this Las Vegas is not. But then I thought, you know what? Put them back, Steve, and book your flight to Las Vegas for some sex, drugs, rock and roll, some gambling, and to never return the same person again. So there you go.
Goodness. And when Andrew's doing all of this, what are you going to be doing, Stevie?
What I'll be doing. VJ, what's that hotel you were talking about? Ocean's 11. I'll be in there going, living life to the max in a gangster hotel by the sounds of it.
It's Andrew's territory, I think. All the hotels, he'll know all of them. Bellagio, I think that one is. But yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Andrew? Any music news, anything?
Not really, no music news per se, but I just definitely want to, I'm just super excited to be joining both Vij and Stevie during that weekend, Labor Day weekend in September, when Face will be performing Friday night. There's nothing going on Friday night officially, so that is an option. But then, of course, Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be all about us, and then Chris Brown and Usher are going to be at Allegiant Stadium doing their thing. Yeah, man, I'm just good. I'm just been super busy. But this weekend was my first weekend not out of town or doing anything since like the last week and the second to last weekend in May. So glad to be back. Sad that I missed the Steve Russell Troop thing, if that happened. Sad I missed that concert recap, but very excited to talk about the album at hand tonight because it's definitely a huge part of my summer of '92, personally.
Okay. Well, just before I guess for me, it's interesting just to because they mentioned Babyface is performing, and it was something interesting you said, Andrew, that his performances now are better than when he used to do his own solo stuff, and I think there were two things I noticed. I think one, being able to do your own songs. I think Teddy did it for a bit where he would say, well, I did look at the stuff I did, High Five and Heavy D and then stuff. And he was doing a little bit of that, but he didn't really build upon that. In fact, he used to bring out the artist himself. But I noticed that Babyface, he incorporated a little bit what Bruno Mars does on stage. Like getting the sort of the almost like his own version of the Hooligans singing and dancing with him, so it kind of makes it a full show, and then having the sometimes bringing Johnny Gill or some other people, Boys to Men, sometimes to perform alongside, and there's elements of surprise. So it's good to see that in his 60s he's still. I don't think he needs to perform. I mean, with all the money he made from his albums and his songwriting stuff, but he's still selling out tours, and so it's good to see for Face. But anyway, the big thing today is Highland Place Mobsters. So I would be honest to say my first time listening to this is just a week ago. So I do not know the album as much as you guys, and for a lot of people out here who know the album as well. So I'll probably start with you, VJ, Stevie, then Andrew, about what do you remember and know about Highland Place Mobsters?
So the first time I heard of them was on this. They're on a track on here called it's called the LaFace Cartel, and it's Reversible of a Dog, featuring Damien Dame, Highland Place Mobsters, TLC, and the introduction of Tony Braxton. So that was the first introduction. And shortly after that, I heard this album, tracks of it, and it was huge. This was a big album. For reasons I'm sure we will talk about later, this album felt like it fell off a cliff, and it's unfortunate because it's really is a stunning album.
Okay. Benjamin's saying a lot of people surprised that this is my first time listening to the album. So, Stevie, what about you? When did you first hear
It doesn't surprise me because, like you say, it's not. It kind of it didn't get promoted well, or if it did get promoted, the wrong singles were promoted. But I remember hearing "Let's Get Naked" on the radio. My friend again, Leaky Fresh, at the time on Sunset Radio, had played it. Probably in his 9 for the Night, his New Jack Swings. And I remember buying the 12-inch out of Manchester Underground Records. Shortly after the CD, vinyl, I think I didn't get the CD, I got the double vinyl. I was in Manchester Underground Records and I picked it up and I'm looking at this double vinyl, just confused. Like, I thought, is this a hip-hop album? Is this a rap? You know, is it an R&B? Just the whole, you know, if you look at Jodeci's second album, when they were doing the whole fake gangsterism look, dare I say that, you know, I felt these guys were more about it with the look. I felt if there was a punk moment in R&B, in New Jack Swing, where you've got a group that's going up against the establishment, against the record label, and causing a lot of mass hysteria, then this group were that punk moment in New Jack Swing, because there's some extremely heavy stuff on this album. It's like half and half. You've got some really like heavy rap New Jack beats, and then you've got even in the ballads or the mid tempos, they're still very risky with the lyrics. And you listen to some of the lyrics now, like "I want a hoe of my own," and you're like, oh, you know, that guy on Instagram, that dreaded guy who's a young guy and he does little reels where he's sat in his kitchen and he's listening to some old school record and the lyrics are coming up. And imagine the lyrics coming, he's vibing and the lyrics comes up going, "I got a hoe of my own." And then his face just like, what? He can't believe what he's listening. He's like, oh, no. And he quickly try to switch the record off. You know, it's like one of them moments. But you know, some of the singing is questionable. But again, with, you know, auto-tune, there, no AI detections or whatever, but it's pretty raw. The production from Dallas Austin is just amazing. And yeah, I've got a lot of good memories about this album. A lot of good memories. Really enjoyed it.
Okay. What about you, Knight?
The summer of '92 was my first full summer in the United States of America. I had joined an R&B group and we were absolutely trying to, like, you know, make it on our own. And at that point, you know, so we were doing little performances here and there. And that was around the time when combat boots started to become the thing. So I remember, like, just like the hearing about them on Reversal of a Dog, but also then later hearing them doing background on White Man Can't Jump with Riff. So when the album came out and I saw it, I go, these guys are like another Jodeci. And it even lined up where Dallas Austin is Devontae, Derek Culbreth is like JoJo, Theophilus Glass is like Casey, and then Melvin Eloke is like Dalvin, right? They had all the same kind of situations. Loved the album. You know, I remember when the song Dirt Road White Girl was even on the album, there was like a white guy that I knew who loved R&B, but that was the first like kind of crack, I think, in his fandom of all things urban, because he's like, what was up with that, you know? and also at the time, I want to say though, the early 90s was a very kind of racially charged time, because again, you had, like, if you listen to Ice Cube album, you'll have songs, I mean, as like Cave B, and, you know, and the whole, even that movie Jungle Fever came out. And I think the thesis of that Spike Lee film is not necessarily like the most optimistic, and I'll leave that at that for now. So it was just a kind of a weird time. And I think that the group was on that wavelength, but I just don't think that was a sustainable wavelength. And here's where I get philosophical. You didn't ask for any of this, but I do think that when you come from a place of love, I think things tend to kind of come off better. And when you don't come from a place of love, and I don't think Dirt Road White Girl comes from a place of love, that kind of had a negative impact on the group and the trajectory and the performance of the album. But going back to like my own personal experience at the time, I loved it, and I remember just being disappointed that the album didn't catch on the way I thought it should have. Big fan.
So what do you mean by that? So explain about that. That kind of
Which
like,
part?
yeah, the
Oh,
not being a place from a place of love.
because I mean, basically, it's like it's kind of anti-white, man. I mean, there's no really other way to put it, you know. And then also, when it goes, I can get my own, and I hang with black girls. I think it's cool. So to me, it's almost like, don't do something because you think it's cool. Do something because it's feels real and right to you. But then also, like, love is love, man. Just let people do what they want to do. Do I think that, you know, other like people tend to kind of champion staying with your own even today, as far as like cultures and religions and all that? Yes, they do, in my opinion. However, that's cool in the gang. Just don't crap all over people who decide to step outside of that paradigm. And I just feel like, you know, it was an unnecessary message to be putting out. And I know even in his book, L.A. Reid had got into it, I think, with Dallas over it, and Dallas was insistent on putting it out as a single. And of course, I think L. Reid finally had to be like, you know what, fine, you know, let's see what happens. And F around and find out, and they effed around and found out. And it just wasn't, yeah, you know. And if anything, I think the song has aged terribly. You know, I think that back then it was a bit more listenable, but now in this day and age, it just doesn't. It's just.
Is it okay if I recite some of the lyrics of that track?
Go for it.
Okay, there's no actual curse words, so it's still PG. We're after 9 o'clock, but I think the rap and this is because I remember first hearing this record, feeling very confused. You're just confused like what the message was, and I think the message was in the rap when it went, I don't need no dirt road white girl. I don't need a white girl who's dirt road, hangs with black girls, thinks it's cool. So fake in front to get what you want. Change your image. We can hang tight. Make up and down ghetto sounds. Can you move? Be yourself. The lock will soothe you. Correct the mistake or I'll say bye. So basically they're talking about white girls. I'd assume, is it hanging out with black girls or black guys and dressing in a certain way? To fit into, you know, the whatever the image was at the time. Is that basically what they're saying?
That, based on what you just said, that does add a different layer to
or
the
is
message.
It culture? You know, that word, you hear this word now, which is culture vulturing about, you know, certain. It's kind of related, but not fully, like white DJs that are into black music and play black music, but they'll use the whole black music culture to make money off, which is a whole.
Oh, and I forgot to mention.
That's a whole other term.
Somebody also, I love someone mentioned Madonna, right? Because I also remember, oh my God, I don't want to like go into the rumor mill, but then Dallas ends up with Madonna at some point, I think. So it's just kind of like, what's going on here? But a lot can happen in 2 years. Anyway, I just think that it's even happening now. Like, that song distracted from the rest of the album. So we're not going to let the song kind of like derail us from talking about the rest of the album being, I think, the magic that it was. But it was an unnecessary, confusing, controversial distraction.
So can you listen to this song today, or is it something you can't listen to?
I remember, I just kind of like, even the song goes like, whore. I think he actually says whore at the beginning of the song as part of the run. So I just feel it feels immature and juvenile. So I skipped it. But I did listen to it more back in the day.
Let's take out the lyrics and even the vocals, and as an instrumental, I mean, I probably will get it into a top 10. But that music, that production in its own is the precursor to Madonna's bedtime stories.
1000%.
Yeah,
you know, because you
even
your album and it's literally based on that production, Dallas Austin's productions.
Did Dallas Austin do
his time?
Did Dallas Austin do This Time Around by Michael? on the History
He
album?
did a remix, didn't he?
I thought
Did he produce?
I think he did both of them.
Yeah.
This time and Don Snedden were the Dallas tracks.
yeah. So I
Yes.
could hear it in that time. That I can hear that I can hear it this time around on that production as well.
I think
Anyway, but I
Dallas
think
did the
go ahead, please. Yeah.
Dallas did the original for This Time Around and the remix. I think they're the only tracks that he did on that album, and he did a remix of "They Don't Care About Us" off the History album. I think they're the only tracks that I believe Dallas has done with Michael Jackson.
So I said that because I could hear this time around on that track. I mean, for me, it came out in '92. I listened to the album just recently. I'm thinking it was not a LaFace album. If they were hip hop artists like Outkast or Goody Mob, then different. But for what they were doing, they needed to be on Interscope. Almost like a hybrid sort of indie pop stuff, like Limp Bizkit or the guys who sang Knob. I can't remember the name now. Linkin Park. They could have, that what Dallas was trying to do with this group. LaFace was not the label for them, and especially in '92 when they were trying to, and Clive would not be feeling Third Girl, White Girl, or black people. It was not a LaFace type of what LaFace was set up for, and doesn't mean I didn't appreciate the album. I just realized how come I didn't hear it. And that '92, think of it. This is when the Bobby album was doing its thing. There was a track that sounded similar to sort of Good Enough. When we
Yes.
get into this, so there was you could feel the vibe. I could hear a lot of influences from, say, Teddy, early Teddy, that Dallas was a big fan of. I could hear some of the influences there, but I felt some distance. There's a guy who sounded just like Bobby on the album. I don't know if you guys pictured it as well. One of the singers had a Bobby type vibe when you hear him do some ad libs and when he sings. But I guess it was just the fact that if L.A. Reid wasn't happy with Dirt Girl, Wild Girl, and Dallas says put it out, then you know what they do? They give you the video, put out the single, but they're not going to pay for promotion, and they'll kill the record. And then they can just say, but they don't want to upset Dallas because he was still doing TLC and still doing those big tracks for LaFace. So you keep him on his side in some cases. But I get, what's the name of the album?
It's a long one. 1746 DGGA 30035.
That's why the album did not sell. You can't be naming. You can't be doing some crap like that. You give it a name. I was like, because no one's gonna know what.
What are you talking about? It just rolls off the tongue.
That's why it didn't sell. You can't. Who's gonna promote that album? And I think that's the thing is that L.A. Reid learned as an artist, then executive, like, okay, Dallas is important for TLC and for what we're doing here. But
hold on a
bigger
minute.
picture,
For all the lyrics about Dirt Road White Girl, what about black people? Because that was something else, that track.
You know what though? I was okay with black people, and
that was amazing. I thought that.
No, I remember this is. I'm telling you guys so much like that you didn't ask for. So my freshman year in college, I remember me being exposed to different, like just all kinds of people. So there was a punk rocker who would say, I don't like R&B because R&B is all about love. And then I said, not all R&B is all about love. He had me listen to I don't know. I'm trying to remember the name of the UK punk groups. I'm talking about like the Clash and all that, right?
Mm.
So I play him Black People, right? And he just didn't get it. And to me, that was kind of a vulnerable thing because that's a very critical, like a self-critical song saying about we got to save and talking about no matter what you change on the outside, you're still Black people. Like I actually thought it was a very like brave, and even I hate the N-word, right? But the fact that that song, that word is so pervasive on the album and through that whole song, it was like, this is not about love. This is about sociology, and he still didn't get it. And that's when I learned that as a 18-year-old, sometimes logic doesn't get past everybody. You cannot you don't win people over through logic, you win them over through emotions. So that was my first like awakening of like, don't try to like convince somebody because they're just if their ears are closed. But anyway, I liked it, and actually, not to spoil, but it definitely I think it ranked pretty highly on me on my list. So anyway, I liked it.
But did we talk? I mean, Tim Beach was talking about was the album name and inmate number stuff. Why? You know, it. I didn't understand. I mean, that's.
Oh,
when
it was their address. It was their address in GA, like the house that they all lived in. That I think that's what it was about. 1746 DC GA, and then that zip code 30035. I think that there was.
We've also got to talk about, again, I discovered them late, you know, when the NGS3 website started in the forum. I knew nothing about a group called Glasswork, which was 2 years earlier, which was the nucleus of this group, which had Chip in it, which had Dallas Austin on production, another failed album attempt that through MCA Records. Some of the production on that album reminds me of Troop's second album, with what Dallas was doing. But it's amazing, isn't it, how this Dallas Austin and Chip have made 2 albums, either production or artist wise, both of them failed. It's like, you know, how many chances do you get at a major label? And they've had 2 already, and it's just not happened.
Which is why I know I'm talking too much, but which is why whenever people, and this is where I get controversial, because I know you might have something to say about this. Like when people say, "Oh, Dallas Austin's the shit," I'm like, really? Like, I mean, I know he's done some good stuff, but I feel like he's had a lot of misses and a lot of hits. You know, so to me, Dallas is inconsistent. If I was a singer back in the '90s and someone said Dallas can produce your track, I'm like, I'm good. Like JC Chazé from NSYNC like had Dallas Productions and they didn't do anything. I felt like Dallas is good, but I think his commercial ear was a little impaired. I feel like, you know, I think even Secret, I saw this on Facebook. Dallas actually posted a tribute to Clive Davis, how Clive had to convince Dallas that Secret by Madonna was going to be a hit. Wow. Apparently he didn't believe that was going to be a hit. So after that, you know what I'm saying? Like Secret was dope. One last thing. I remember when Dru Hill came out, and I saw the blonde hair. I was like, man, he's biting Highland Place Mobsters, you know, because Maniac had the blonde hair first. I remember thinking that. So, Chip, if you're out there and you're listening, you did it first. And I want to make sure that the whole internet knows that we're giving you props. You were the first to rock the blonde hair.
He was quite a character, Chip. He still is to this day. He's quite a character. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Couple of things. Do I have a lag?
Yes, you do, but it's all good.
Okay. That is really, really annoying. All of you have made like really fascinating points. So firstly, I'll say, Stevie, when you mentioned that Dirt Road White Girl was a precursor to the Bedtime Stories album, the irony of that is just incredible, because what Dirt Road White Girl is talking about, and then it's just the irony. I'll leave that at that. I don't think I want to say anything else on that. I think it is what it is. What you said, Andrew, about Dallas Austin being hit or miss, I think that's completely inaccurate, because for a period, Dallas was the man. Like everybody has like their time when they are like the hottest thing. Steve, I'll come back to that in a moment. But Stevie, you mentioned Glasswork and Highland Place Mobsters. Firstly, Glasswork wasn't a very good project, so that's why it didn't do well. This album, on the other hand, is incredible. It's not good. It's not okay. It's not good. It's not very good. It's incredible. So it makes no sense to me, other than releasing Dirt Road White Girl as a second single or whatever it was. I don't understand why this album didn't do more. And Andrew, about your point about saying Dallas Austin is hit or miss, I will add that during this period, he was working with this group. So TLC, this was incredible, yeah?
Yeah.
He was responsible for all of the good big tracks on this album.
Okay, that's hit.
Before the reissue.
Yes.
Before the reissue with
with TLC, it was just Hat to the Back and Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Mm-hmm. But Baby 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 was Face, And okay, what about your friends? Fine. Okay, I give you TLC.
Yeah, but you could argue he was having, in Knight's defense, he was having hits and he's also having misses, hit and miss.
The point I
In
was
fact, there
making,
should have been a group called Hit and Miss that he produced. You know, that'd have been a great group when he produced that as well. Hit and Miss.
the point I'm making is on Boyz II Men's album, Dallas Austin was the main producer.
Yes.
On their second album, he was meant to oversee the whole project. As per a conversation we had this week, Dallas Austin said that he felt that Boyz II Men were assholes by the time the second album rolled around, and that's why he got his proteges Tim and Bob to do the tracks where Dallas Austin oversaw the project, and Dallas only did one track. By the third album, he said, "No, I'm not working with these guys again." Dallas Austin's key period, I would argue, would be from 1990, 91 through to maybe 95, 96. That was his period. So
I agree
that he was hits all day long during that period. After that, before that, that's a different conversation.
I'd say from 92 to 96, VJ.
Yeah.
This is just
ABC though. I give him ABC. I think Aisha and Playground were dope. I think his early productions. Someone said the Bomb Squad. I agree with that. The sampling and all that. So Dallas for me is ABC, Boyz II Men, TLC, and Monica. I think those are like the ones where you have to give it to him. Although technically Rowdy and Bad Boy were founded at the same time. One label went on to be gigantic. The other one, it had Monica. I'm not sure what else Rowdy put out, to be honest with you. And I like what he did on TLC's third album, like Fan Mail, that title track. Shit.
I think with Rowdy first, I mean, his interview he had with Quest was that he didn't want a label. It was put on him to go to New York, set up a label, and he didn't. He was like, "What am I doing here?" So, but I will say that Dallas is he is eccentric with his. As he got older, he became a lot more eccentric with his production, and very much so he can be. Sometimes it can be great, but then I also think that with Boyz II Men, they said they could have done the album themselves. They wrote and did all the stuff, but the label didn't really trust them, so they wanted Dallas in there. But they did most of the writing, and then Dallas did production. So I can't give him 100% on that. And his view with Boyz II Men is probably them saying, "Look, man, we've seen what you're doing. We can do this ourselves." And maybe that's how he saw it. And but either way, I think he's got his he's a creative. If he's got his creativity and his background, and it's definitely something that this album reflects. I think a good side of him, but the A&R part of it and not working alongside L.A. Reid to make this a success is what was the ultimate downfall, because I listened to the album and I was really impressed, but I think some of the tracks would definitely would definitely not rub I mean, Far MC wanted 69 to be released. It went platinum, but that was the end of Far MC on Uptown, because MCA were like, we don't want the heat for this song, but Far MC insisted on putting it out. And so when artists think, I want it my way, they will get it out there, but then that's the end thing, because Sex's Law should have been a bigger album. So that's the lessons you learn in this game, is you've got to learn how to play it, and Dallas didn't do it on this, because what's the difference with them and Outkast or Goody Mob? It's just that they played ball. So let us go with our ranking and stuff like that. So there were 14 tracks on here. There was the Let's Get Naked and Naked, the remix. I don't know. Did you guys put them as two separate songs, or how did you rate them?
It's funny you say that, actually, because this is another thing that kind of angers me. So I had the cassette, right? And I've noticed on streaming, the cassette version has a rap version of NAKED. It's actually a completely different song. It's like it has the chorus, but it's raps, right? On streaming, that one's nowhere to be found. It's just basically a remix of Let's Get Naked. And
Okay.
that was like painful for me. So, I do consider them two different tracks, but I think that's going to be a little bit of a complication for today's episode. But for some people, if you had the cassette, or even the CD, I think you'll have the rap version. But if you're only streaming, you're hearing a remix of Let's Get Naked to a different beat.
There's also they've let on the streamer and noticed they've left off the revolutionary
street music. Exactly.
Why? It's like it's an outstanding moment on the album.
Yes.
That was annoying.
Which song?
So annoying.
The era of revolutionary street music. So you haven't heard it, but goes, this is the era of revolutionary street music. Doom, doom. Revolutionary make music instead of talking shit. It's great, and it's not on the streaming, so you're missing out. We'll hook it up later.
Okay.
Sorry guys, I had to like get animated with it.
Okay, all right. So number 10 for me. Yeah, this was a tough one. I actually, as I said, I appreciated the album. And at the end we'll rate it. Number 10 comes in at Black People. It gave me that Public Enemy type of vibe and stuff like that. I must say, when I first heard it, I thought, "Oh, wait, these guys are getting a little controversial." I mean, no one, so I was, but I appreciated it, and I felt an R&B version of Public Enemy, and appreciated the song thereafter. So number 10 is Black People for me. VJ.
I'll share my number 10, but one point I forgot to say earlier. Andrew, when you said about that song and you were having a conversation with a friend and you were trying to explain the social impact of that song, comparing it to punk, the fact that that was your life lesson in understanding that not everybody understands the same information in the same way is such a cool story. I think that's a great story. I really do, because that's a big one. Like, you think about how personal that song is to you, and as per your words, I believe, and then you're sharing something so personal with somebody, and you think, I want my friend to understand what this song means to me and why I'm saying the words that I'm saying. And he was oblivious to all of that, and I think that's crazy. That is just, I just wanted to share that. That's very important, and I think that's very cool, man. Very cool life lesson. My number 10. Produced by LA and Babyface. LA and Babyface have a song on this album. How crazy is that? Written by Daryl Simmons, backing vocals by Babyface, D-Rock, and Highland Place Mobsters. I'm obviously talking about the song that Stevie mentioned with so much vigor earlier, Hoe of My Own. That's my number 10.
Solid.
Why at number 10, VJ?
I think it's an excellent song, as is every single song on this album. There's not a bad track on this album. I'll tell you in advance, I rate this album 9.5 out of 10. So there's not a bad song on this album. I just think this song, I don't think it needed an LA and Babyface track. I don't think it was necessary. And it's LA and Babyface, and it's as if it's a throwaway track, and I love that even more. And it's the opposite of that. It's not a throwaway track. It's incredible. So I just don't think it was necessary, but I get it and I love it. But
so that's probably why it sounds like really need a girl, nurse, give it to me. Bobby on the Bobby album. You know the Bobby.
Oh, Pretty Little Girl.
Pretty Little Girl. I was thinking that it sounded like a Bobby album. Now I can see it was done in the same time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it sounds a bit like TLC, Baby, Baby, Baby as well. This bit for that.
Oh, I was gonna say it sounds like Let's Do It Again from like the Crazy Sexy Cool album, as well. I will also say that song hits me different now than it did when I was a kid, because I was like, Hoe of My Own. And again, I was even telling Vij this, like, why is like Babyface and like LA Reid and I guess Daryl Simmons writing lyrics like "I know that he's your N-word" and "I gotta hold my own." But now, right, as an adult, I realize this song's about a guy who's a side piece, and he's just kind of like, man, this sucks. Like, I don't want to share like a girl with somebody else. Got to get a home my own, you know. And to me, like that is like a real, like some people they go through that, you know. But back then, that was like what, you know. But now I kind of get it, which is terrible. Anyway, moving right along.
My friend Jez out in Manchester said he completely missed the album. Still hasn't heard it. Listen, there's a mint vinyl copy. If you've got a spare 20 quid, it's still in vinyl exchange now in Manchester. If you got, I know it's a bit expensive, but if you can grab it, it's well worth it. Still got the hype sticker on. And again, you just don't see it on vinyl, you know, just don't see it at all. Or get the cheaper CD, you know, the CDs. This CDs are cut out. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can't see it's a little cut out in here. But yeah, probably cheaper on CD. Anyway, I've lumped two interludes together to form one track because I couldn't leave any of these interludes out. So I've put Revolutionary, which we talked about earlier, which is not on streaming, which I think Steve Gervais used to use that as one of his interludes for his radio show back then.
Nice.
And I've tied that with, I can't say this word, the N-word, the interlude, the N-word and, which again was just, I thought it was a fantastic hip-hop interlude. So if you put them two together, you got 3 minutes there, and that forms my number 10. Bit cheating, but why not, eh? Why not? I've cheated.
Nah, man, I get it. My number 10's an interlude as well, but I just decided to keep it a track, and it's The Last Capone. So that one I liked just because it was like rugged. It was basically Elok, the group's Dalvin. And I just like, and that one goes right before the rap version of NAKED. It goes like The Last Capone, and then boom, and then it just goes right into like it's Clark, it's Spellman,
that's 40
it's
seconds.
Morehouse.
How could you put 10? That's 45 seconds. How could you put that as number 10?
Man,
really good, Namdi.
I'm like,
good.
This album is a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned, an underrated masterpiece. So even the interludes get love, and it's not number 10. Sorry.
And sorry, Namdi, before you say your number 9, I just wanted to show you a particular CD. And this was indicative of everything going on at LaFace at the time. So this CD, if you can see that.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's called LaFace is the Place. I don't know if you can see that clearly.
You can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got that's Highland Place Mobsters there. You got Tony Braxton there. In the middle, you've got Boyz II Men. You got TLC there, or on the other side, and you got PM Dawn in the corner. So it's talking about tracks that are on LaFace things. So Boyz II Men, End of the Road from Boomerang. Let's Get Naked from Highland Place Mobsters off the album that just rolls off the tongue, 17 whatever it is. Tony Braxton's Love Should Have Brought You Home from Boomerang, LaFace Records again. TLC, What About Your Friends off Ooh on the TLC tip. Highland Place Mobsters, Dirt Road is on this album, off that same album. PM Dawn, I'd Die Without You off the Boomerang soundtrack, and Highland Place Mobsters, Take a Dip. It just tells you like LaFace was everything at the time. And this album should have been massive. TLC, Boyz II Men, Tony Braxton coming out and all of that. Boomerang was huge. 1992 was a huge year for LaFace. And I don't know what happened. And I just had to share that CD. Sorry about that. Namdi, you were saying your number 9.
So my number 9 for me sounded like a song that High Five probably would have sang. It doesn't fit the album. No, doesn't fit the presentation of the group. And I do wonder if they had put this out as one of their first as a single, if it would have had a different audience to it. Because this sounds like, if I say that sounds like a High Five song, which song does anyone think I might be referring to on this album that sounds like a High Five song?
If You Stay.
Okay, close.
Then it's the other one. Damn it. It's the other one. I already know now.
It's Try My Love.
Yes.
Try My I'm listening to it and thinking that it doesn't sound like it didn't sound like you, because you look at the album, you look at the how they look, and it doesn't sound like they sang, because this looks happy and upbeat. So they've got, and also the you know, having Dirt Girl, White Girl, and Black People and all that stuff, and then they're having this. It's almost like, yeah, we just put on some great song. Let's just see what happens. Try My Love, beautiful song, but it just felt out of place compared to the image of the
Wow.
group. But it was, as I said, it sounded like, it sounded not like Kissing Game, but it sounded like something like, what was that, that the one that the hi-fi song that R. Kelly did.
Video Girl.
No.
Quality Time.
No. This on this on
Just
the
Another Girlfriend.
no, their second album,
Then it would have been Quality Time.
Quality
Quality
Time.
Time.
Okay, I know I can't remember,
What
but
you
it
mean,
just
playing hard to get.
Hard to get. Yeah, hard to get. It gave me that vibe of hard
Oh,
to
fair
get.
enough. Doesn't for
The-
me, but fair enough.
Vibe, yeah. But
Fair
I listened to it. So this is a high five song. Nice song, upbeat and lovely and everything. But it just seems strange that this was on the album. And but yeah,
Wow.
go ahead, VJ.
My number 9. My number 9 is Black People. I love this track. Fantastic track. Every single song on my top 10 is a 9 out of 10. Yeah, at least minimum. Yeah, so don't get the places twisted. Yeah, sampled Zapp's More Bounce to the Ounce from 80, and this is remarkable. This tells you a lot about Dallas Austin's mind and how much of a G he is or was, still is. He sampled the 5 Stair Steps, Don't Change Your Love from 1968. Now, to sample Kenny Burke's group with his family from 1968, that's so clever. I mean, yeah. Black People, number 9. I just leave it at that. Dallas sampled the 5 Stair Steps. I don't think maybe nobody in this group understands how excited I am or why I'm excited even, but that is just crazy. The 5 Stair Steps. Stevie, what do you think about that? Don't you think that's mad?
It's incredible.
Yeah, that's my number 9.
Okay, Stevie.
You've just upset every New Jack Swing fan out there by your number 9, Namdi, I must just say. Anyway, my number 9, lyrically, this is how it starts. Wake up in the morning, horny as hell. Take a shower to delete the smell.
I always hated that lyric, dude. That was
Bed's
like nasty.
still wet from the time before. You can be a freak and not be a whore. Oh my God! IG Gen X will have a field day with this record if they ever heard it. Like they'll be like, "What? The groups used to write lyrics like that." Anyway, number 9 for me is the very P-funky, squelchy. Are you freaky? Are you freaky? Surprised George Clinton's not on this record, actually. And be a whore. What lyrics are these, man? Are you freaky? Sucking on my fingers. Watch. I better not carry on here. It's getting X-rated, isn't it? It's getting very X-rated. So I'll stop there.
Andrew.
Sorry,
I hate everything to do with smells. So for like take a shower to delete the smell, that alone knocked the song down like 5 points. I'm like, yuck, man. Ew. Anyway, my number 9 is also, believe it or not, Black People. And I actually went online. I'm a little mad because I had the liner notes and I had like the lyrics written out, right? But I tried to Google it. And like Gemini is like, yeah, it's not been uploaded anywhere. So it's crazy to me. It makes me now realize we have to do a job of making sure that we archive, we preserve the memory of some of these tracks. Because I remember loving the song. I remember thinking the lyrics were really forward thinking and brave. But yeah, I can't tell you what those lyrics are right now, right this second. So that sucks. But anyway, Black People at number 9, straight up.
Well, look, this booklet does have the lyrics. It says we got to save black people because no matter what you change on the outside, you're still black people.
So F it. Like read some of the. Do you have any of the lyrics really quick? Hopefully, I don't get embarrassed on this podcast.
I mean, this is the bridge. If we come closer, maybe we'll have more, but we let other things get in our way. If we stay strong, we'll be forever. But sometimes I just don't know what to say. But like you say, now we're breaking ground tonight because this is the first ever. It must be the only and first ever podcast on this album tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll ever be another. I don't feel if we'll inspire other podcasters to check this album out. I know we've probably got a few viewers tonight who are going to go and check this album out because they've probably not heard it. So we are breaking ground tonight with this album. It's crazy, isn't it? All these R&B albums and no one's done this before.
And Stevie, you stopped the lyrics at that point. The next 3 lines are, we got to save black people, we got to save black people, we got to save black people. And I think because of that one song, the one that we alluded to earlier, I think the essence of what these guys were trying to do, they were just proud of their heritage, their history. And that's what this album is really about. And for an R&B group to do that, I don't think we'd heard this really since the 70s. The 80s, you didn't have anything really. Everything was light, fluffy, and whatever it was about. The 80s was I don't know. But, 70s, Marvin Gaye. Prior to that, Sam Cooke, what he was talking about. This is what that album could have been and should have been. But a New Jack Swing version of that. So I think that's very important. That's a really important song, man.
Was there some story about, was it LaFace? Highland Place Mobsters did a gig where LaFace was there and Death Row was there, and it caused an almighty ruckus between LaFace and Death Row.
Wow, I didn't hear that, but I wouldn't not believe it.
I think they performed and there were shootings and it all went off apparently. And apparently that's when LaFace got rid of Highland Place Mobsters. Yeah, that's it. That is when they were dropped from the label because it just got really heavy with Death Row. Someone in the comments can remind me of that or post a link to it. But I can't remember there is some interview somewhere that relates to that moment of that gig.
So in the group, who were the main singers and who made up the group?
So Derek Culbraith, who is also later known as Derek Dimitri. He did a song called "Get It On Tonight," which was later done by Montel Jordan shortly after that. But Derek Dimitri was key vocalist, as was Theophilus Glass, also known as Maniac. Okay. They were the main ones, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. How many? Was Dallas in the group, or he was just a producer?
He was. There was 4. So yeah, on the cover, he's the one who's in the front, who's like the most visible one. Yeah. Actually, there he is. Okay, so hold it against your shirt, Stevie. That way, it'll. There you go. Or it should. So there you go. Yeah. So Dallas is the one on the far right. I think Maniac has his pants down. Then you've got Derek, I think, in the far back, and then that's Elok, the rapper, with the hat turned backwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you pull up Last Exits for Brooklyn? Yeah, that's it. That's the story. And it all kicked off after that. All went on.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it.
Look at VJ's face. He's like,
yeah. Wow, I didn't heard that story. That's fascinating. That's a different way of doing things.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason I asked about it, my track number 8 reminded me of Happy Home. It was a song that I was like, wow, this is I love this type of songs. And I was really impressed by the guy singing. And I'm not sure if it's the main guy, the Maniac, but Daddy. Loved the vibe, loved the song, loved the production. But as I said, it was Happy Home. That type of, we're just going to do this.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that kind of song. But it just showcased proper talent in the singing. And and this would have been an amazing song live. Let's watching them
Mm.
live. It reminds me of stuff that Mint Condition would do if they're doing a live performance. And it's a strange thing, you know. I guess there's a part of me that wonders: does the group know? Did they know what they wanted to do, who they wanted to be? Because you have the New Jack track, then you had these amazing R&B songs, then you had the social conscious songs, and it was just like, and then how does a label promote that? It's just like, you know, you need to give it some identity and stuff. These guys went to, so you talked about the black people, they went to Morehouse, as they listed out there. For those who don't know, in Atlanta they had um, three historic black colleges. They had Spelman, which is an all girls university. They had Morehouse, which is an all boys university, and they had Clark Atlanta, which was mixed. And they were there. They're not. They're in Atlanta area. They're very popular. And I think if you go to DC, you have what's that? The one out in DC where Shy went to.
Oh, Howard, and
Howard.
then you've also got Hampton as well. That was called because all those universities were called out in that. I keep bringing it up, that rap version of NAKV. They actually go like
Yeah.
it's like a college, like they shout them all out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
and also Jodeci and Gotta Love, they're wearing those hoodies, those white hoodies with Clark and Spellman, like on the
okay.
hoodies. It was a big thing back then. You know,
Yeah.
just that. Yeah.
Because I almost went to Clark Atlanta, but man, when I visited, it was almost like going to a school that had beauty. There was just beauty passion, and I was like, "There's no way you can concentrate in an environment like it." It was the most beautiful black women I'd ever seen concentrated in in Clark Atlanta. So I went to Milwaukee instead, and got a triple major. It was a lot easier to focus in the Midwest than. This is not me praising the white girl or anything like that. But there was a difference being if you were in Atlanta, it was just like, oh goodness, how do you focus? And so I had headed off to the Midwest, and it was easier to focus on education.
LOL.
But anyway, Daddy is my number 8. Love the track, loved it. And this is pre-Cisco kind of thing, because I won't say KC, but it felt it felt like Cisco meets Anthony Hamilton, but with a much more amazing vibe. So Daddy, it would have been higher up, but there's some other ones I enjoyed better. Yes, VJ.
Yeah, I think
HBCSUs were big in the 80s and 90s.
that's Daddy's a great track. It's and this is the crazy thing about this album. Like, I agree with everything you said and how it made you feel, and everything resonated with me. But on my list, it's number 15.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's how good this album is. That's all I wanted to say. Number 8, I would say Era of Revolutionary Street Music. Voice,
Nice.
Darren Brindle. Vocals, yeah, fantastic. Written by Dallas Austin. I believe there's a James Brown sample in there. This is that interlude which deserves to be in there. It's 54 Seconds of Magic for me. Fantastic. Number 8 for me. Thanks.
What's James Brown's biggest ballad?
It's a man's world. Maybe?
Yeah, I'm sure that Daddy's basically the music is a reinterpretation of that James Brown record. Number 8 for me is, we've already well discussed it now, Black People makes it number, just phenomenal track, just heavy. Love the lyrics, you know, it's just right in your face. I don't know, should have put this higher up. I don't know why I've not put this higher up. Don't know why it's at number 8. Maybe it could be, it won't get in my top 5, but it could get as high as number 6. But I guess it's stayed at number 8 for me. But we've discussed enough anyway.
Question to Colin asks: with this Jodeci album, could this album compete?
Different lanes to me. I just don't think it's really fair. I mean, even yesterday, this is how everyone's different. I listened to the show, The After Party, The Hotel. That's my favorite album, right?
Wow.
Of Jodeci. Exactly. But you go to Apple Music, the essential Josie albums are Forever My Lady and of course Diary. I think objectively, most people think Diary is the one. So like we all have different tastes, but the show After Party, it's no question. I love that album. So to me, they're just different lanes to me. That's my answer.
I think that album takes you a bit. It's more of a journey, isn't it? You're going along on a journey, and whereas the other two albums are split with ballads and up tempos. That one is more the production, the whole thing, the journey, and we're not even going to talk about the album. Anyway, did you say what your number 8 was?
Oh, sorry. So it was just call and ask a question. But my number 8 is Let's Get Naked, believe it or not. And that might seem surprisingly low for that song, but that's just because to me the heat ahead of number 8 is just I'm a big 'em up. But Let's Get Naked is a solid track. And yeah, it's a solid, serviceable track.
Okay. Yes. Serviceable track. Okay. Jack Swagger, I went to Concordia in Mequon, just outside of Milwaukee. Yeah. Number 7 for me is the guy here sounds like Bobby a lot in this track. If You Stay. But it sounds like it's what era of Bobby? But I don't know if you guys ever picked it up. Did you get the vibe? That's like how he.
It's funny that you say that because Derek ended up singing backgrounds on the Tim and Bob tracks on Bobby's Forever album.
Okay.
So she's my only lady. She's the other side of me. Like you'll hear his voice in the background. So I do think you were totally onto something on the whole Bobby, Derek, Colbreth, Boo Boo was his name, I think. That's his. So I do hear it. But then even the Maniac, like, sorry guys, I gotta reel that in. But I'm just saying, yes, I hear it. You're not alone.
Okay, yeah, especially if you listen to "Try My Love." Any of you out there, if you listen to "Try My Love," and tell me if you don't hear elements of Bobby in that. But yeah, definitely, and "If You Stay" was a nice also. As I said, "If You Stay" and "Try My Love," those are songs that they don't fit the image. They were nice little pop bubblegum lovely songs that I would have expected a music video of them doing some dance steps and just can't handle it or stuff like that. That didn't fit the image of what they were portraying. But nice song, number 7. Go ahead, Reed.
Uh-oh. We may have some technical difficulties going on. He's frozen.
I thought he was in
deep in thought there.
Yeah, it was like, okay, where do I go from there? What do I do next? Okay. Stevie, do you want to go when he comes back?
I will mention someone who played a big part in this album. We've not mentioned her yet, and she was a big part of the TLC's debut album as well. He's back. Is he back?
I think
you're up. Or God, I hate it when it happens.
VJ, what?
We've got his twin.
What is going on there?
Are you on twice, VJ?
No, I'm not. I'm only on one. What is going on today?
Is AI doubles here?
Okay, that should be okay. I don't know what it is with my Wi-Fi today, so apologies. Hopefully this is okay. Am I lagging?
Yeah, but we can hear you.
We can work it.
Yeah, sorry about this.
I'm just
number 7.
For me?
Yeah.
My number 7. Is there an echo? Jesus, what is going on? Sorry, 1 second.
Hey, VJ. We've cloned VJ.
Let's Get Naked. Sampled Mantronic's King of the Beats. And fantastic song. I think this one and the other version are both 2 different songs, and The other one might make an appearance later.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see if the other version of VJ is better. Okay, maybe this one works out. We'll see. All right, Steve, what's your number 7 for you? We've called him VJ.
Yeah, I was just about to mention a lady that I wish we could get a story, because I think she knows all about this album, especially that first TLC album. Deborah Killings, I've mentioned her before. You know, she's all over this album as a background vocalist, but
Yeah.
you know, I will get to some of the tracks which I think she plays a really key part in. But the number 7 for me is Ma Said, the up-tempo swing track. Ma Said, again, could be a little higher. Not quite my top 5, could be number 6. But it was beaten by a track that I seem to play a lot recently. I played this more back then than what I do now. That's probably why it stayed at number 7. If it was back then, it'd be a lot higher, I think. Would be a lot higher.
Love it.
But Ma Said, another hard-hitting track.
Love it. Love it. If y'all could see the goosebumps, that you can't see them right now. As I was driving to the strip yesterday, I was bumping this album before I went to Jodeci. And, you know, the intro I consider part of the song. And it goes, we live in confusion. Boom, 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 da, 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 da. So yes, Stevie, same thing, man. Number 7, Ma Said it is gonna be all right. Ma Said, don't worry about it, baby. Like, I mean, you gotta fight, and if they touch you again, you gotta fight for your life. And then, you know, Ma Said never be broke. Like all those little, you know, and anyways, it was a great song, a great intro, and a great announcement to this. We're the Highland Place Mobsters, and we're here to your shit up. And it was just a dope ass song at number 7. So if I'm that enthusiastic about number 7, wait until you see number 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You may need to strap me, give me a tranquilizer. Dirt. All right, I'm done. Sorry, guys.
What's number 7?
I love that both of your tracks, number 7s, are the same, man.
Yeah.
You are in sync today, I think.
Okay.
Every little thing I do. Sorry. That would be me. That was a musical joke. But again, yeah.
Okay. Number 6 for me is the entry from Silk, or the Silk inspired track, Take a Dip. As I mentioned, it doesn't. It was almost like, let's just try different sets of songs and see what sticks or so. Because I'm thinking, if they had brought this as a second single, would have made a different impact. Especially around that time when we had H Town and Honey Love and those type of vibes and stuff like that. But Take a Dip at number 6.
And just to be consistent, because if Andrew and
Wow,
Steve
man.
be consistent, I think I can be consistent with you, Namdi, and say my number 6 is also Take a Dip.
Wow, guys, I'm stunned.
But the interesting thing about this song is it's written by Randy Ran, and Randy Ran and Dallas Austin working together. And it's also co-written by Kimberly Smith, who worked very closely with Teddy Riley at Future Studios. Kimberly Smith has done so much stuff. So interesting connection. But I do marginally prefer A Few Good Men's version of Take a Dip. That's just me.
Is it the same song?
Yeah, both are fantastic. Both are fantastic.
Both by Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will say this number 6 is a 9 out of 10. It's a great song. It's so good.
Can I say something? So I actually never listened to A Few Good Men's version, and I was mad about it. I was like, really? Like, that's HPM. Like, what are you guys doing? Get your own song, you know? So, but again, I mean, I'm just telling you now, I can listen to it now, but it's just like, but back then when I saw like it in the record store, I'm like, what? And then I'm like, really, A Few Good Men, another Boyz II Men clone, like next. Like, I was just like, you know, whatever. You're so unoriginal. But anyway, it just proves how much I love this album and how much I wanted HPM to win. But thank you, Beach, for that. I'll check out their version after this.
They're both good. I can understand that. It's like when you've heard a particular version, it's difficult to compare it to something else. Even if you've heard something that came out later, if that's the first version you heard, that's what you're going to relate to. One other thing I wanted to say, I was playing this album in the background earlier, and Monica, my wife, she also said, "Is that Bobby Brown?" So
wow.
I wanted to share that. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the theme today. Bobby is very
Brown.
much present on this album somehow.
Yeah. Stevie.
Number 6 is I didn't play this track much back then, but I don't know. It's kind of really grown on me. It's grown with me over time. And it shouldn't do really because of the outrageous chorus of "Ho of My Own." But just how they didn't really get away with it, did they? But would you get away with that now? Lyrics of probably. You know what?
You're right. Today's music
would now because of the way dating's gone and everything with ladies now is all in. It's not about love. It's about an interaction. We're in a dating now is all an interaction. No, no money, no honey, as they say. So getting a hoe of your own probably does fit perfectly to what's going on right now. Being very, very controversially, very tongue-in-cheek, guys. But hoe of my own is at number 6. I like this song a lot now.
Okay.
Probably expect to get a slap in the face for singing those lyrics, though. But there you go. I don't know how the younger baddie girl generation feel about this record.
So, what do you think about this question about for the general? Would it consider Highland Place Mobsters like new heavy metal rockers of New Jack Swing? Or
well, we did mention it earlier. We did say like if New Jack Swing had a punk rock moment, even though it wasn't musically punk rock, then these guys were it really. You know, they were just like, you know, they didn't give an F really, did they? I'm trying not to swear here.
Yeah, I think the attitude was it was like that. It was just they had the attitude of like a heavy metal band or like a punk rock band, but they sounded like what they sounded like. So yeah, I think that's a very good question.
I think if they had success, platinum, double platinum, then the label could then say, okay, you know, they could have not competed with Jodeci with that bad boy image, but they could have created their own sort of thing. But you know, you don't name your album after some numbers that people are not going to remember, because you go in and then you come up with songs that the radios can't really push, and then you piss off Clive and LaFace. You're pretty much doomed. But anyway, Andrew.
And you don't alienate an audience that likes rock music by a song like Dirt Road White Girl. And like, you know, think about it.
And go on, Andrew.
No, go.
I was going to say, Namdi, I almost agree with what you said there. I think if this album had got through this little phase, I don't think they would have been as good as Jodeci. I think they might have been better. I think. This is that's a sentence I want to share. This group should have they should have been on that level, at the very least on that level. That's how much talent is in that group. So that's why it mystifies a lot of us so much why this album didn't do better. This group didn't do better.
Chip is a rocker. I remember years ago on Facebook, he sent me some message, and he sent me about 10 tracks that he'd done, and they were all rock punk metal tracks. He's a rocker essentially. You know, I couldn't make head and tail of him, but I thought, well, fair play. You know, that's what you want to do. Fair play to him. That's his lifestyle. If you if you follow him on Facebook, his lifestyle now is very. He just looks like a rocker, you know.
1000%.
Yeah. Who's next?
It's me. My number 6 is I would call maybe the JoJo Haley moment of the album. And it's Catalogs of Lost Love Volume 1. And I'm pretty sure Deborah Killings is on that one too. It's a very, I mean, there's not much to say about it. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm tempted, but I'm not going to. But it's a beautiful song. I like it. It's a great interlude, and it kind of segues really nicely into Let's Take a Dip. So I just think the second album, the second side of it is just, well, I like them both, but the second side's a bit more musical. And yeah, just great interlude. I love it.
Well, it's interesting you say that because it's split into 3 sides. The first side's revolutionary, the second side's street, and the third is entitled Music, as you've just said.
Music. Love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that song reminded me of it reminded me of Boyz II Men's first album. They had a song. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but it reminded me of something that Dallas did for them. One of their slow
I
jams.
know the one you're talking about, Namdi. I know.
Yeah,
reminded me of that as well.
But I actually rated Catalogs of.
Your love is so right. Maybe.
I
think they're in a hallway playing a piano, and it starts like that.
Yeah.
But it just I actually had it at number 5. I just
nice.
I really did like it, and as I said, it's just the identity crisis of the songs and the album and the group and the name. It's just they had some talent. They had some songs that should have been really commercially successful, but then they gave us a different type of the image. You just, I think it seems simple. The music industry is a business, and labels spend money to to help you make the album, and they want to make money back. And so, as much as you're creative, we need to make money out of this. It's we're not, your album's not going to be sitting in a museum. It's about generating revenue. And I don't know if people tell artists this, so the artists understand, okay, we'll let you do what you want to do, but we need to make some money first. So let's release these types of songs, let's give an image. But unless you have those kind of conversations, artists will then start to think, no, we're going to do our thing and put out this, and not understand that it's not good for business if you don't try and build it in the right way. So it's a pity that these guys did not get that education, because they were signed to Dallas, who was rowdy. He just didn't care. Forget this. I'll go work for Madonna. Yeah, he'd made his money from the Boyz II Men stuff. So, if you listen to Tim and Bob, Dallas didn't. They had to convince Dallas to do a lot of stuff. He just wasn't always there, especially after they said once his friend died, he kind of lost direction as to what he wanted to do. Is it Randy's? Oh, the one that had a motorbike accident, his partner. So once he passed away, he kind of was in a different space. So that's probably where the hit and miss comes. But anyway, VJ.
My number 5, I think, will disappoint a lot of people. It is written by Dallas Austin, produced by Dallas Austin. It's a mid-tempo. I love this song, but it is at number 5 on my list. It's If You Stay.
Made top 5, man.
any one of these on any day could be my number 1. That's how. It's such a solid album, and I wasn't saying it to be facetious or weird about like Jodeci, and this band, it was that good. They were that good. If You Stay, number 5. Apologies. Tomorrow it's number 1 though. I'm going to listen to this song lots tomorrow, I bet. It's a great track.
Wow.
Good, Stevie.
This, when I was first compiling this list, I had it about number 10 or number 9. but I also remembered how it made me feel back then when I was listening to it, because it was so hard hitting, even for like a mid tempo. And I went back and listened to it again. I thought, nah, I cannot put this at number 9 or 10. It's like, again, I'm going back to that punk moment. Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, upset the establishment so much. It frightened, that record scared people. It frightened people. I'm sure the BBC just didn't want anything to do with that record. And I know that LaFace didn't want to put this record out. Again, it scared the life out of them. And in a way, I'm glad they put it out. I'm glad they stuck two fingers. I know it probably lost them the deal, didn't sell as a single, but I think it's an incredible record. Despite, and you know, I know what you're saying about racism night, but how can black people be racist? I don't think they can. Because if you really go into the meaning of racism, you know, white people are, you know, we're at the top, aren't we? Allegedly. I've got to be careful what I say here. You know, that's how racism trickles down, doesn't it? If you're in power, then you've got the power to be racist. But if you're not in power, anyway, it's another discussion. But Dirt Road White Girl for me is number 5. I think it's, you know, what a record. What, you know, we'll probably never get a record like this again in R&B. And again, that production is like, you know, it was the precursor, the genesis to Madonna's Bedtime Story. Madonna is like one of my all-time favorite pop artists anyway. So to hear the production on that really, in a way, that the snare beat in that record's so loud, it cracks. It's a cracking snare beat, but it's also like such a gritty mid-tempo production, so gritty. I don't know if Madonna's team heard that. They must have heard it.
They have to have. That's what I was saying about irony. What that song represented, and the fact that Madonna used something similar. That blows my mind. When you said that, my brain was going all over the place. There's definitely a connection there. There has to be.
But anyway, it's number 5 for me. No, again, there's a video. If you've not heard it, if you're watching now, if you've not heard that, there is a video. They actually got a video as well. LaFace, I don't know what we'd have to get the story from the guys themselves, but just the controversy of it all. But what a record! What a record!
Wow. I did not expect that, but I am actually pleasantly surprised.
It doesn't offend me. I mean, it doesn't. You know, as a white, that record, I understand it's almost like I understand what they're saying. Nice. Because I relate myself to them days when I was going clubbing to black clubs, and you'd only see 1 or 2 white people in a club. And was I that white guy who was trying to be down with black people? That's how I can kind of relate to it. And I can understand there'd be a section of black people going, who's that white guy in the corner of the club dancing, dressing like us, try to be. I get it. I totally get it. And they being against that. So I can see where they're coming from. You know, I totally get it.
I guess there's the art and there's the commerce.
Yes.
And I think that, you're coming from the art, and hey, I gotta, yeah.
I'm glad with that, I totally see what you were saying earlier. I get where you're coming from. But again, I've had a totally different experience as a white person going in black clubs when it wasn't a normal thing back then. It is now, but back then it was like, oh, Steve, you're in a black club. Whoa, you know what I mean? And why you try to be so in with, again, this is another podcast, isn't it? It's another podcast.
It totally is. But to keep things moving, at my number 5 is NAKED, and it has to be the rap version. So, not much more to say about that, except to say that the song sounds like a party. It sounds like it's Clark After Dark. It's just like you're listening to the song, and it's like you're on a ride. You're in the Jeep, and you're just going down the whatever, like hitting this spot. Like, I'm setting up a session for you and your homies. Like it's a party song, but it's a party song at a black college, or a black college like network where they're all close together and everyone's just having a good time. So I just love it. Ruckus, rowdy, fun, and real. So that's it. Number 5.
Okay. Number 4 for me sounds like a track that should have been included on one of the house party soundtracks. And I don't know if you guys can guess which one I'm talking about.
Ooh.
Are you freaky?
Yeah. Oh man, what a fun song! It just it sounded like like the circus at the back, and
Do you want me to read the lyrics back to you again, Andy?
I'm just because, as I said, I'm listening to the singing over the beat and the music, and it just sounds. Of course, you mentioned George Clinton, the whole vibe, but I was thinking, yeah, this sounds like stuff stuff that Public Enemy would have rapped on as opposed to them singing on, and it was just such a fun track, and I can see this being representative of them as a group. The way that the whole production is, the whole the different elements of it. So this fit. This one seems like Black People and all the other stuff. So it was. I loved the track, loved the energy, and loved the excitement. I could just see a video with clowns on unicycles and everyone just almost like a the woman with the beard in a circus, and those guys just singing "Are You Freaky" and just going all crazy. Someone running around with diapers and stuff. I could see a video, and this would have been like, yeah, this sounds like the guys, Highland Place Mobsters, just crazy black rock punk fun groups. This would have been, yes, they could have done that. But fun track at number 4 for me.
Interesting. Whenever you said, "Are you freaky?" all I could hear was "baby oil, baby oil, baby oil." I don't know.
Okay.
No, but I love that you put that in. It's so high up. I love that. Wow. My number 4. I've already mentioned another version of this song already previously. Andrew just mentioned it at number 5. It's NAKED. Fantastic. I love this version of this track. I just feel it hits a little different. I don't know why. It's fantastic. And this one also samples Mantronic's King of the Beats from 1988. And if you know that track, you can't really go wrong with it. So that's my number 4.
Nice.
Awesome track. Awesome. Same here with me. It's the first thing. It was the first record I heard by him. And I've kind of lumped Let's Get Naked together with NAK. It just made sense to lump the two tracks together at number 4. Like you say, you got an R&B version, and then you got this really powerful, hard-hitting, like rap New Jack. The energy of that track is just, and I've never heard it in a club. I'd love to hear it in a club. I'll shout DJ Puppet in Australia. I know this is one of his big plays as a vinyl DJ out there. I'm sure he plays that in his sets. Just a really hard-hitting New Jack record. On another day, it could have been higher than number 4. But yeah, that's number 4 for me. Big single. And again, it just didn't do well for him, did it? Just didn't really. I thought video was great. It just didn't take off for him. Should have took off that record.
TLC. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to agree with you. I think it should have taken off. They spent so much on that video. It wasn't like it didn't look like a cheap video either.
No.
So yeah. Sorry, carry on, Andrew. Sorry.
No, what's crazy is I've actually never seen the video in full, but that's also my fault because I never bothered to look it up. But I remember it was not played on MTV, and we didn't have BET where we lived, so that was that.
Was it Rump Shaker before Rump Shaker? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Now I definitely want to see the video. No, I remember there was like a era. Like I know TLC used to say that. And then when this NAKED starts, it's like era. He says the same thing. So there was kind of a TLC connection. And this is also too geeky, but there's this part of the song where it goes, Yo Dallas, goes, hey, Yo Dallas. And then it goes Clark After Dark. And I just love, I was picturing the video just having like the little like edits. But anyway, all of that said, just had to say that because my 14-year-old self needed me to represent. My number 4 is another interlude, and it's the interlude that you didn't hear, Namdi, and it's by Darren Prindle, the engineer, who says, "This is the era of revolutionary street music." You know, and it's just like totally like it's sampled revolutionary street music. Revolutionary street music. Make music instead of talking shit. You know, I love that. That's number 4. It totally starts before NAK. No, it starts before the original Naked. But anyway, great. It's just like, does your music have a message? Does your music have a message? Make music talking shit. Revolutionary street music. It's just them. It's their manifesto. What we make is revolutionary street music. We talk about hoes of our own. We talk about dirt road white girls. We talk about deleting smells when you're horny as hell.
Yes.
And you know that that's revolutionary side. So Stevie, you mentioned it. So there was part 1, which was revolutionary, part 2, which was street, part 3, which was music. But listen, just look at the run of the revolutionary bit, right? It starts with Marced. You've got era of evolutionary street music. Then you've got Let's Get Naked. Then you've got Namdi's joint, Are You Freaky? Then you've got Stevie's joint, Dirt Road White Girl. What is that? Is just a crazy.
You know what? I think, right, they've typed this wrong. There's been an error here.
Go on.
I think revolutionary, the street revolutionary should have been where the Last Capone, Naked, I nearly don't want to say it, and Black People. That's what it should have been. And the street should have been Marced and Let's Get Naked. I don't know. They should have flipped that, looking back.
Phenomenal.
I love what Colin said.
This is probably one of the most rawest podcasts we've done, you know.
Nice.
This is the rawest podcast we've... So if we've offended anybody tonight, people, with our language, I do apologise. Not intentional. Just the way the album is.
Yeah. Oh, let me get to our top 3. Number 3 for me is the one that really says this sounds like Bobby Brown, and I thought that just sounds familiar, and it was because it sounded like pretty little girl that L.A. And Face did for Bobby on the Bobby album, and is Hoe of My Own.
Wow.
And I like that they had the 2 different singers on there, but I just love I mean, if I'm listening to it, I'm not really paying too much attention to the lyrics. And of course, they could have said I could have found a girl of my own, but then and this is where you go to the guys that says, look, we can get this on radio, but if we start playing this pre-Death Row Chronic, we're not going to get too far. And so we want to sell 1 million, and let's change it to want to get a girl of my own, and we can get you better radio play. And they would have said, no, we want to do it this way. I said, okay, you're going to be poor then. So what do you want to do? You want to make music and be rich, or just be poor and just make music? It's up to you. And so it's there. Well, I rather have her in there. So okay, that's cool. We'll put it out. But I like the song. I love the whole vibe and stuff. And I love the guys singing. I said, well, and it was sounding different and unique, apart from the fact that one sounded like Bobby, but a good version of Bobby, not a bad version. So, Hoe of My Own is at number 3 for me.
And for me, it's interesting that you have gravitated towards the top of your list, because it tells you about your ears. You already knew that your ears knew it was a LA and Babyface track. You've linked it to a LA and Babyface track of Bobby Brown. We've already mentioned that Bobby's all over this album in spirit. He just is. And I find that interesting that you put that number 3, and it makes total sense. Fantastic songs. My number 3 is it's brilliant. First track, Marced, up tempo. I love how this song it feels like it's going somewhere, and you think, what? And then it just changes gears and just becomes something completely different. It's a New Jack Swing gem here. I swear to God, this song is just special. This could be a single. I would have been happy with this as a single. Marced's amazing.
Yes.
What is that track? It starts, the album starts with this. It's madness. That's my number 3.
Crazy track, absolutely crazy. Number 3, these next 3 tracks for me is where Deborah Killings kind of comes into her own on these tracks. But A Few Good Men's version, for me, it's a nice version, very polished version, but I always preferred this one. It's more rawer. There's a vocoder in it. Again, on another date could be number 1, but Take a Dip. Oh my gosh. Oh, guys, come on. Let's take a dip, my lady. Dun, 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 dun. Let's get freaky tonight. Oh, what a jam, guys. How could you put that like not in your top 5? Let's take a dip. And that was a single. Was it the 3rd single? Not if it was the 2nd or the 3rd.
I think
But,
so. I think it was 3rd.
Yeah, and you kindly gave me a cassette. You found a cassette single of it, didn't you, VJ?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I was very happy to get hold of that. But yeah, Take a Dip, easily in my top 3. Easily one of the standout tracks on the album. Thank you, please.
All right. So on the original, I sent 2 lists, as I do. Sorry, Veej. And on the first list, this track was at number 4. As I took another listen, it moved to number 3. And I'm just going to do one of the harmony parts of the song. So it's not going to sound really good, but it's definitely in the harmony part. And the harmony goes, let's take a dip, my baby, just you and me, my lady. Can we get soaking wet tonight? I love that song. I can't do the song, but it's a high pitch like do. And in my version, the radio version, it would have ended with that like that, and that's the end of the song. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. That. Sorry, guys. Reel it in. Let's Take a Dip is the shit. Is the stuff. And once again, Stevie, we match. So boom at number 3.
Let's take a dip, my lady.
Just you and me, my lady. Can we get soaking wet tonight?
Next time we go karaoke, we'll have to see if the karaoke's got a version of that song so we can sing it.
And although I'm not doing Maniac's part, because he's just like he's shredding his voice in that song in the second part.
I think you two are so much in sync. Me and Namdi can just leave this podcast. You guys can take a dip together if you like.
Pause.
Okay, we're down to the top 2. Yes, I first heard this song and I thought, okay, now I know why this album didn't sell. Good, I just saw the title, and then the fact that it was released as a video. But man, I love the song. Dirt Girl, White Girl.
Wow!
I love the production. And I was like, this sounds like a Michael track, and it was like, and also the Madonna's one as well, Secrets. But yeah, no, I just, it was this one I listened to. I thought, yeah, goodness, if they were on Interscope, they would have done something. They would have done something with it. It reminded me of because around that mid '90s, R&B was at its peak, but there was still that sort of pop rockish. You had Limp Bizkit, all those kind of guys. As I mentioned before, Linkin Park, rapping hip hop kind of pop, and it sounded like a Linkin Park track. If you had given this to Linkin Park, it would have been all over MTV and stuff, because that they would have taken this and blown it up because it was great production. Yeah, of course, there was saucy lyrics, and they could have easily told them, guys, we changed the lyrics, and then we can push this song out, and it would have crossed over as well. So you can look at the lyrics and think, okay, what are they doing? But you can then listen to the track, the vocals, and think, actually, this was at this, and plus it probably should have come out around 95, 96, and probably would have done better. That's as I said, around the time when Linkin Park came out with their track. It's no different from I Tried So Hard In the End. If you think about In the End by Linkin Park, it's the same type of very basic rap, and then that type of enjoyable music. That's pretty much what they did. But as I said, you need the right label, you need the right lyrics, and you need something catchy that anyone can pick up on.
Do you
Love the
know that
track.
it's interesting you say about Interscope? There should have been an Interscope. Interscope in '92 signed an R&B group, and again they put an album out, and it completely bombed. Only the real hardcore know about this CD. They were called Truth Inc. And there was one. What was the track on it? Because someone messaged me the other day saying, "Have you heard this track, Steve?" Did a track called "Can I Get With You Tonight?" And there's a video to that, "Sex on the Beach." But I don't think Interscope were ready for R&B. I think they signed, is it 3 Shades Brown as well? That was another girly group which copied TLC. That bombed as well. So Interscope at the time was not ready for R&B. I don't know why. Maybe a few years later.
Yeah, they had Blackstreet in '93, but I
It would have
think
been later. Yeah, 93,
but
94.
this album, some of the songs were probably a little too early. This is an amazing song. Forget the lyrics. Production wise, he still kept the production with Madonna and with Michael. Um, and I think it would have been a big MTV hit if it was just moved along a little bit. But yeah, number 2 for me. VJ,
Pleasant
what's number
surprise.
2 for you?
My number 2, produced by Dallas Austin, mixed by Dallas Austin and Dave Way. It was a single. Stevie's had it in his list. Namdi's just mentioned it. My number 2 is Dirt Road White Girl.
Oh my God.
For me, I think
I
think from a content point of view, I don't want to tiptoe around it. The song is racist. That's what the song is. That's what it is. But the tone, if they'd just used different lyrics, I think this could have been so amazing. The music is just insane. I listened to this instrumental more than almost any R&B instrumental. Like if you think of New Jack R&B instrumentals, I think that instrumental might be the one for me. This CD is so important to me because track 2 is the instrumental version of this song.
Wow.
I love this song. Like
I need to get that CD single now.
It's on vinyl as well. It's on vinyl.
I think I've got the vinyl, but not the CD single.
Yeah. So from a content point of view, there was no need for releasing that song, I don't think. I think they covered other aspects of the point they were trying to make with lots of things on this album. This song wasn't it. But as a song, production-wise and tone, and the vocals just hit in a just very different way. But it's my number 2. So if you're surprised, it is what it is.
What do you make of what Jojo says here, though? That Maniac said in an interview that Dirt Girl goes about cocaine.
I think if that was the case, that could have saved the damn song as far as like being commercially successful, because I know there's a song that came out, White Girl, I need a white girl, like Fly Girl, right? But it's about cocaine. That would have, I mean, possibly.
Well, let's read some more of the lyrics. Let's. It's very hard to relate this to cocaine.
Stevie,
really is.
I'm with you, Stevie.
I need. Go on, VJ. Sorry, what are you saying, VJ?
I was going to say, like, this is very interesting. So you said about the cocaine bit, right? I understand what's been said there, yeah? But if you look at this CD, what does it say? What have they crossed out there? Look at that. Look at that carefully. If you can see that. Hold on. Let me put that back. Yeah.
Yeah, they crossed out the Y.
So what does that say? That brings a very different tone to the song, doesn't it? Right?
Wait, what's the why? Why is there a what? Why is there a Y there anyway?
So after white, there's a Y that's been crossed.
Yes.
Right.
If you add white and then you add Y to that, what does that say?
Whitey.
Ooh.
They've crossed out the Y. I'm just saying, it doesn't sound like cocaine to me based off that letter.
Good point, mate. Very, very good point. That's an incredibly good point. And, you know, the lyrics, it says, I need a woman who would give her all to me. I don't need no dirt road white girl. I need a woman who'll share a life and be the kind of woman that would be with me. The only woman that could wife to me, kind of lover that care for me and give him my all. There's nothing here that recites drug lyrics.
And then he says, I can get my own. I think no, I think that was Dallas trying to, like, you know, cover it up after the fact. He knew that it kind of hurt his career probably a little bit. So yeah, nah.
Yeah, but I think there's difference if you're saying that you're looking for a woman instead of depending on drugs.
Oh,
if somebody,
to be your spouse. Yes.
Yeah, instead of because somebody
was there a Sly and the Family Stone record that used the word white in it?
Yeah, probably. That sounds.
Because I'm trying to relate. It just made me think of something going back to Sly and the Family Stone here. Again, anyone in the comments can dig something up about Sly and the Stone for me.
I'm doing it on Gemini right now.
But as I said, if the artist is saying this is what we meant, you know, because there's no going back, it's not going to make a difference.
Like we're cracking a code here tonight. I feel like we're cracking some sort of
I remember the video definitely had like a white girl walking on a dirt road. From what I remember, I need to like go and like watch the video.
Yeah, but you're not going to have powder cocaine on the table because that would be too hard to like. I don't need the cocaine. So
there is a song called "Don't Call Me N-Word Whitey." It's track number 6 on the legendary album "Stand" by Sly and the Family Stone. So that's according to Gemini.
Yeah. But anyway, it's interesting. All right. Who's the Stevie number 2?
Oh, big shout to Juju, man. Big shout to, I know he likes the Highland Place Mobsters album a lot. Big shout to Colin Mills. Yeah, we've had a lot. There's one person who I haven't seen on the podcast in the chat for quite a while. Forgot the guy's name. We'll discuss it. I forgot his name. Anyway, you are missed. We haven't seen you for a while. A lot of what you say we don't agree with, but you are missed. Hope you're okay. And that you probably knew with me. Anyway, number 2 for me. This would have, we're at number 2, aren't we? This has always been my number 1. It's always been my go-to track, but it's been beaten. It's been pipped. And for me, this is one of the greatest New Jack Swing records of that year. Again, could have been a single, wish it had been an extended mix, but Try My Love. Oh, you're saying it doesn't fit yet, it shouldn't have been on the album now. I'm like, Namdi, what are you talking about, yo? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about? What a killer track, Try My Love.
It's not, no, the track is good, but it doesn't fit what
it's a New Jack Swinger's dream track, that.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit Dirt Go White Girl or Black People.
Well, I could say Dirt Go White Girl doesn't fit, but Try My Love is an absolute killer.
It doesn't fit the image. Dirt Go White Girl fits the image. Black People fits the image of the group. That Try My Love was a New Jack, was a beautiful track, but the group's image, it's like Jodeci singing Try My Love. We would say, wow, beautiful track, but it's like, well, it's.
Oh, did you ever hear Jodeci sing Cherish? Did that fit their image?
No.
To you?
Yeah, have they sang it since? Though? Have they sang it since? Man. Have you ever seen them sing it since?
No.
You know what the thing about that song was? There was a version of that song. It's called Cherish Hip Hop Extensions, and that wound me up even more because it was like, how can you have a hip hop version of this whack song? There's no way you can improve that song. It was whack the first time. Cherish is just whack, man. Oh my god!
Well, I like JoJo's runs on that. That
vocally stunning, but it just doesn't fit.
Anyway, Try My Love, definitely a beautiful track. It just as I said, yeah. Okay, Andrew.
All right, so my number 2 starts off with speaking of Jodeci, the Jeep mix of Gotta Love. It's the same beat, that boom, boom, and then you hear a little bit of Do What You Like by Digital Learner, that boom, 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 boom. So yes, me and Stevie might have to get that hot tub. My number 2 is Try My Love. You gotta try my, you gotta try my love. You gotta try my love. And then that song to me also has a bit of Crucial, like the remix of Crucial by New Edition. It has that same energy. I could totally see that, da, 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 like the orchestral hits. Man, Try My Love is the and I love the fact that Highland Place Mobsters had so many different dimensions. They had their serious side, they had their street side, they had their rugged side, and they had their straight up R&B side. And I just think that you know, Derek, again, vocally, his voice is so pure. It was like an almost more pure version of JoJo, actually. It's a shame that we didn't get more of his voice because he sounds so good on that. And it's a perfect song. That should have been a single. It's a shame that was on a single. So yeah, that is my number 2, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. So I'm going to give my down. So before I give my number 1, I'll go down from 10 down to 1. And what didn't make my top 10 was Mama Said, but it was Hat to the Back remix. Mama Said was Hat to the Back. Number 10, Black People. Number 9 was Try My Love. The 8, Daddy. 7 was If You Stay. Number 6 is Take a Dip. Number 5 is Catalogs of Lost Love. 4 was Are You Freaky? 3 was Hoe of My Own. 2 was Dirt Girl, White Girl. And what pipped it, because Dirt Girl, White Girl was number 1 for most of the week. And just what pipped it was after I kept listening to Let's Get Naked, the R&B
Nice.
version. It was something about it was something fun about the track, the energy, um, the video version doesn't do it justice because they focus on the rap version of it. But I thought that would have just been a much happier production and track. So there's something exciting about what they did in that. So Let's Get Naked, my number 1.
Solid.
Very nice.
All right.
I'm going to mention my entire list, and I'll do it quickly. I had Daddy at 15. I had N and at number 14. Number 13 was The Last Capone. I had Catalogs of Lost Love, Volume 1 at number 12. And I love that song. And I always wondered what a Volume 2 would sound like. That's how good that song is. I had Are You Freaky at number 11. Hoe of My Own at number 10. Black People at number 9. Namdi, you really need to hear this song if you haven't. Era of Revolutionary Street Music. That 54 Seconds is Magic at number 8. Let's Get Naked at 7. Take a Dip at number 6. If You Stay at number 5.
But okay, that's right after Mama Said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yes.
If You Stay at number 5. Number 4, NAKED, the other version. Marced at number 3. Number 2, Dirt Road, White Girl. My number 1 is, I think, an obvious choice. It's if I think of songs that should have been a single, and if we ever did a podcast on songs that are on an album that should have been a single, this would probably be my number 1 on that list. That's how powerful this song is. That's how big this song is. And for me, I'm a big fan of Dallas Austin, as I have mentioned multiple times. I was a big fan of Derek Dimitri when he had his version of Get It On Tonight, which I thought wasn't as good when Montel Jordan did it. This is written by Dallas Austin and Derek Dimitri. Samples Janet Jackson's Funky Big Band from 1993. Samples the very obvious Lynn Collins' Think About It from 72. I can only imagine remixes of this song because I think it would have been incredible. Try My Love is my number 1 all day long, every day, all the time. You can ask me tomorrow, next month, next year, in 30 years' time, Try My Love will always be number 1. It is the song on this album, and I love this song. Wow. It's the one.
Yeah. Try My Love. My My Stu Vampamp. Yes, they are absolutely on the YN end of the spectrum. So anyways, that's it. All right.
I didn't do a 15 to.
No, we did
11.
10 to. I did.
It's
Oh
10,
no,
right?
me.
I was just saying, it's just me. Don't worry about it.
Number 10, Revolutionary and put together the two interludes. Number 9, Are You Freaky? Number 8, Black People. Number 7, Marced. Number 6, Hold My Own. I've only got into that. I'll be honest. I've only got into that recently. I didn't play it a lot back then, but more recently I've got into it. And it's got to number 6. Number 5, Dirt Road White Girl. Wow. Number 4, NAKD and Let's Get Naked lumped together. Number 3, Take a Dip. Number 2 is the track that I was with VJ. Number 1 all day, every day. That was the first thing that came to my head. But I remembered the track that. This track means everything to me. It absolutely means I think it's the one track that's aged so well over time. And the reason I brought up Deborah Killings earlier, because she carries this track of vocal sense, just carries it all the way through. And it reminds me of a group, Modest Folk, which again, it's an album that we'll have to dig up one day. It's a forgotten R&B swing gem, that Modest, where she started. No, she didn't start. She was in another group, weren't she? She was in a bit like Dallas Austin. She was in 2 groups. What was it? Summit and the Star Breeze. She was in that as well, weren't she? Anyway, Daddy didn't make it. That Daddy track, I never listened to it back then, but digging out this album now and listening to it, I've got from what Namdi said, I've got a bit more of appreciation. I think that would sound amazing live. Not live, but yeah. But number 1, this is my go-to track now, and I don't think even Try My Love is going to top it. But If You Stay, oh my god, it's topped it. It beat Try My Love to number 1. Oh, what a gem! An unsung R&B gem. This record, If You Stay. I love the shuffle, the way that swing beat shuffles, and about 3 minutes 30 into the track, it just lets it loop for about 10 seconds. So any of you beat makers, there is Chin Beats. Chin Beats is watching tonight. Chin Beats, go on your drum thing and loop from about 3:30 in. You can loop that beat up and do your magic over it, please, and send me the track. So If You Stay, number 1 for me. Number 1 all day.
Great choice. And Steve, you mentioned what groups Deborah Killings was in. She was in Modest Folk, which is an incredible album. If people know that, there's Princess and Star Breeze.
That's the one.
And there's another group she was in called Shy and the Kill.
Interesting. We need to get her story. We need to get that girl's story. It's imperative.
And apparently, lots of the vocals on TLC's debut album was Deborah Killings. I mean, a lot more than you'd think.
She's so unsung, an absolute unsung legend.
Yeah, big time.
Go ahead, Andrew.
All right, so I have 14, but I'm going to start from the 10, and then I'll do after I say my number 1, I'll just quickly do the other ones because I want there to be some mystery here. So at my number 10 is The Last Capone. Number 9, Black People. Number 8, Let's Get Naked. Number 7, Said. Number 6, Catalogs of Lost Love Volume 1. Number 5, NAKED. Number 4, Era of Revolutionary Street Music. Number 3, Take a Dip. Number 2, Try My Love. And at number 1, I'm mad that I don't have the lyrics in front of me, so I'm just going to start it off and then stop. But as soon as I say, now that you are finally here, we can make up for lost time. And then, of course, if stay out, that's Deborah Killings. Stay out, stay, I will always be right here. Something, if you stay. I mean, yes, Stevie, let's get a room. That song, no, I'm playing. That song is just like, it just soars. And I know for me, like Try My Love and If You Stay were always fighting for the #1 spot. But I think even the way it's sequenced on the album, Try My Love comes first, and then you've got If You Stay, and it's just like soars like a kite over a blue sky and green rolling hills. And really quickly, my number 14 was Dirt Road Right Girl. I think I might be a little biased now. Number 13 was Daddy, but Daddy is dope. And shout out to my friend Sharon Davis, who loved that song back in '96. And I just felt like anybody who's had, just not the best go with their dad in their life, that song's going to mean more to them. And it's a beautiful song. Number 12, Hoe of My Own. And number 11, Ends. So that's it, man. But this album, I damn near want to give it a 10, but I'll give it like a 9.8. You didn't ask for that, but that's how much I love the album.
What did you say, VJ? About you? What did you give the album out of 10?
I'd say 9.9, between 9 and 9.5. I'll just say 9.25. There you go, 9.25.
Stevie?
I kind of agree. It does have its flaws. It is a flawed album, so you can you give it a 10 out of 10? It is a 9. I'll give it 9 out of 10.
Wow,
it's a very flawed album, but I guess the hardcore New Jackers of us just love this album, but we know it's flawed. It's flawed so much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, as I said, I really appreciated the album. I took a couple of listens because it's different if you listen to it in '92 as opposed to 2026, and then trying to get into it. But I could appreciate what they did for something that I got upset with the fact that they chose art over money, which means most of us wouldn't have heard it. There was something about Let's Get Naked that reminded me of Michael Jackson, Can't Let Her Get Away. I think it was the Uptown, Teddy, the rest of these Uptown people had this and then there's something in the way in the production of Let's Get Naked that sounds very similar to Just Can't Let It Get Away. Can't Let You Get Away. Again, I can't let it get away.
Mm-hmm.
If you just listen to the drum production there and with Let's Get Naked, which that's just probably why there was some familiarity there. But I was surprised by the image of the group and the album music, so I'll give it a 9. So definitely one that I appreciated that I finally got to listen to.
I'm amazed we've even got around to doing this album. I'm so happy that Namdi has took the plead, not heard it. To his credit, he's not heard this album before.
Definitely.
He's run a podcast on it. I know he's wary of the audience. That, but I think he realizes the audience know this album. A lot of us know this album, and I'm sure they're grateful. It's a halftime chat this evening for doing this album. It's the first one on the internet, the first podcast proper review. We broke some ground tonight. So I'm very happy.
Okay, VJ, you got to do your list, and so
I will. I was just going to say, Namdi, firstly, the fact that you've listened to this album and process it the way you have is amazing, because this is one you needed in your repertoire. You needed to know this album, and I'm excited. I'm happy that you've rated it so highly, because it is worthy of that much praise. And I was going to say, if you look at the hype sticker on this, you can see that. If you can, I don't know if you can see that. So
yeah, we can see it.
This is before the second single came out, second and third singles came out. It says includes mob style hits Let's Get Naked, Daddy, Black People, and Are You Freaky? So they might have been considering those as singles. That's interesting. And I think if this album had an alternate reality where different singles were released and there were different remixes, this album would have been it just would have been very different. The main list. Sorry, go on.
You're good.
Yeah, the main list. Number 15, The Last Capone. Number 14, Daddy. Number 13, Catalogs of Lost Love, Volume 1. Number 12, N and. Number 11, Are You Freaky? Number 10, Era of Revolutionary Street Music. Number 9, Dirt Road White Girl. Number 8, Black People. Number 7, Hoe of My Own. Number 6, Marced. Number 5, Let's Get Naked. Number 4, NAKED. Number 3, Take a Dip. Number 2, If You Stay. Number 1, Try My Love.
Wow. Great. Fantastic. I'm really happy those 3 were in the top 3.
Yep.
Live Life says, will we ever get a chance to ask the panel questions? Of course. Ask us whatever you want. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. You can ask us anything.
Yeah. Okay.
We might not answer them, but you can ask us anything.
But do you guys think that? I mean, and so this was it. They disappeared after this.
Yes.
Apart from Dallas Austin.
Yeah. Well, he was. This was his. I mean, when you're a superstar producer, you know, people you'd always go ahead and make stuff. But did we hear? I mean, so you mentioned that one of the guys was the guy doing backgrounds for Tim and Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think they both did, but I think Derek did most of it.
Is that the guy that called Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when I interviewed both Tim and Bob, and I said, whoever does your background for vocals, probably one of the best, because there was something consistent and familiar about those background vocals on their tracks. So it's no wonder they kept him. Oh yes, because they were signed to Dallas, and so that's probably where they got him from. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Okay.
And Derek Dimitri, Boo Boo, had a solo album that was supposed to come out on another Dallas Austin affiliated record label called Free World. So Derek Dimitri had a song called Get It On Tonight, which became a very big hit for Montel Jordan. But there was an album linked to that, which was supposed to come out on Free World, which never saw the light of day. That would have been very interesting because, as you mentioned, Namdi, just there, Derek has a very distinctive voice and it's incredible. And I think, Andrew, you might have alluded to him sounding like JoJo.
Yes.
Maybe you did as well. So, yeah, incredible. I mean, Derek Dimitri, that's an album we lost out on, but incredible talent.
I mean, you know, this we're getting suggestions about other albums to do on future podcasts. We've covered a lot of the big new Jack stuff now. We have covered, so you know, for the survival of the podcast, albums like this are going to crop up now. They have to keep us going, just to keep me interested. You know what I mean? So someone else at NKOTB, Randy and the Gypsies. Honestly, they will come. We don't know when they're coming. I know Benson's got his birthday next week. So let's not forget Benson's one of our staunch viewers. Has got his birthday on. Is it on Tuesday evening? So a pre-happy birthday to you, sir. I know he wants us to do that. Randy, I'm dying to do that, Randy and the Gypsies. I gave it a listen actually a few weeks ago, and there is a few tracks on it that were like, yeah, you know what I mean? I've not played them in a long time. So there will be other albums coming up that, you know, like this, that didn't quite make it, but are good. So we will get round to them.
This is my shout out to one of the suggestions, and it's, I don't really mean to lead you on. All I wanna do is take you home. You got that flavor. You got that flavor. Anyways, don't think I don't know that album, man. I actually absolutely listened to Never Let You Go. Close your eyes. Anyway, yeah, man. I that's a vote for me. We should do it. All right. Reeling it in.
Okay, this is the final one before we head out. How do you guys refer to the album since it has a long name?
Just by the group name.
Yeah.
What else can we do, really? What else can we do?
Yeah, Highland Place Mobsters debut. That's it. I don't think I've ever referred to it as 1746 TCGA 33305 or whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say that we probably might cover both the New Kids and Randy the Gypsies in July as part of America's independence as a celebration. So we're interested in doing those two obscure albums in some ways. But it's been great, guys, and I can't believe Colin stayed through. Unless you know, the family on holiday or something like that. Colin normally has disappeared after the first 5 minutes. So Derek, we didn't even hear from you throughout the whole stuff. Anyway,
We did.
um,
We did. We were just so engrossed in this podcast. I think we missed all these comments.
yeah. Anyway, guys, we will be back, and it's yes, great. As I said, really surprised me with the album, and yes. But VJ, you posted a picture, and you mentioned what song were you singing when you did go to Richmond Park?
When I went to Richmond Park.
You said Highland Place Mobsters. Maybe I should.
Oh, I was listening to Marced, and
Ah.
I can't explain that feeling. Like, if you know Richmond, it's a very tranquil, very affluent neighborhood. It's a lovely park, Richmond Green. I was in, and Marced came on, and you got the intro, which is like really slow, and then the beat kicks in, and in my head, I was like, yeah, I felt like such a badass. I can't explain it, man. It was a cool feeling.
Okay.
And against the setting completely, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, Benson, yeah, we'll get into Randy and then also get to the New Kids. You love Karen White's duet with Randy Gypsy. Okay. Anyway, guys, it's been great. And we will, yes, we will convene and get back soon. But have a good evening, everyone. And always appreciate the fact that you stay with us on a Sunday night, afternoon, morning, wherever you're on part of the world. Take care, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
Married and somewhere in between.
Or even loving us, on which I did miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
Four houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay.
They don't understand what those boys win in all spirits.
play it.